Hey, critics, welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. It's Thursday, May 16th, 2024. Hey, critics, it's time to chronicle. This week's Jennifer Hudson guest includes Wiz Khalifa, who's going to be stopping by her show tomorrow. And of course, you have Miss Tamron Hall. She's going to have the entire cast of The Shy on the show, who's going to be stopping by this morning. So you may have an hour or two to still be able to catch her on air, okay? Be sure to check your local listings for showtime. Now, of course, let's move on to critical news you can use. To all the folks who thought that Mary J. Blige couldn't sell no boots, that was $1,300, you are absolutely wrong. Not only did she sell, honey, she sold out of boots, that is. Essence.com reports that style icon Mary J. Blige recently collaborated with the global footwear company Giuseppe Zanotti to release a brand new boot. Blige is known, of course, for her boots, often featuring like unique designs, embellishments that specifically seem to reflect her bold fashion sense. And y'all, you cannot forget about the iconic Mary J. Blige dance move, come on, that everybody on the internet knows about. And they've actually either mimicked, mocked, whatever it is, they say that that is the sincerest form of flattery. Now, the launch of the Mary boot was actually on Monday, May 13th, so that was only a few days ago. The boot was priced at $1,300. It did spark a lot of discussion on social media about whether her fans could even afford them. And despite what some people say is a high price, the boots quickly sold out, okay? The critics were absolutely wrong, I'm guessing, right? The fans showed us better than they could actually tell us. Now, I didn't publicly talk about the Mary J. Blige boot, and I actually thought $1,300 was pretty affordable for a woman of Mary J. Blige's caliber. I don't know why we acting like Mary has not been with us in the industry for years. One of, if not one of the best R&B chart toppers, you know, in all of the actual R&B industry. The woman has definitely an amazing partnership specifically with Essence as well. She has also been a headliner for Essence Fest. So kind of I don't know, I was surprised by some of the critics actually talking about folks not being able to afford the Mary J. Blige boot, especially when bags out here, Louis Vuitton bag cost what, $3,500. I see plenty of folks with those. And we definitely not going to talk about, you know, the iconic Birkin bag that you got to be on a wait list just to get. Okay. I mean, there's a 5-year waiting list. Did y'all see that Sex and the City episode where I think it was Samantha who was serving as the publicist to somebody famous, and she ended up having to say like, well, a such and such, you know, like who Beyonce is the one who I'm trying to get the bag for. I'm her public I'm her publicist. So give me the boot. Give me the boot. Give me the boot. Give me the bag, not the boot. Give me the give me the bag, not the boot. Well, if we wanted the boots, it sounds like we can't get them anyway because they quickly sold out. Now, Mary J. Blige is another one whose ex-husband is wrapped up in collecting checks on his wife's behalf. Well, I'm just so happy for Mary J. Blige. Congratulations, Mary. Her latest song is also out. Mary J. Actually, I like that song. I like that song. And congratulations to Essence Fest. They are celebrating 30 years, all right? The annual festival takes place in New Orleans at Caesars Superdome. It's going to happen July 4th through the 7th. Tickets are on sale, and NewOrleans.com tells us the headlines that includes Janet Jackson, y'all, Charlie Wilson, then last name Wilson, Birdman and Friends, and honoring 3 decades of who else but Cash Money millionaires. Cash Money taking over for that 99 in the 2000. Packages and tickets start at about $174 and go up to around $1,900. That's when I checked this morning. They're on Ticketmaster.com. But if you want exact prices, don't take my word for it because you just never know. Go to Ticketmaster.com and check it out for yourself. And speaking of music, singing, legendary, celebrating, congrats to Missy Elliott, side note, on receiving her honorary doctorate degree from Berklee College of Music. And Miss Keisha Kaur, she is the CEO of Kaor Fitness. She has a brand new podcast and it's called All Things Kaor. Now, she promises an intimate look into her life. Remember when her and Gucci actually did their wedding special? If you caught that, you know that woman is all about bling, not doing anything small. She loves to, she's a businesswoman, right? She is also the one who brought Gucci out of sort of his money, his low money bank account, we'll say, because he had money, but I think Keisha was like, all you got is $800,000. All you got is this. Let me turn this around for you. And she stuck with him while he was actually locked up as well. Additionally, Gucci has a book out, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was on audiobook. It wasn't, I didn't get it through Hoopla though. I actually got it through Audible. Unfortunately, you do have to subscribe to Audible. So it's not necessarily, it's not free. But I will say that you can go to the library and you can request a book. Yes, through the interlibrary loan, but you can also ask them to get the book for your specific local library as well. So just go to your local librarian and just kind of ask them. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, when I do library stuff and they say, "Oh, you can go online and request," and it's like, "But where, sweetheart? Like, tell me where." It's you know, that's one of the areas on the library sometimes that's hard to find is how do you go through and you actually request? And sometimes you just have to ask the librarian, hello, can you help me? And, once they show me one time, I'm typically pretty good to go. So Keisha Kaor's podcast, you can catch it on her YouTube channel as well. So that's where I was able to catch it at. I think she has about 2 episodes up now. Speaking of podcasts, we have Savannah James. Savannah James has a podcast along with April McDaniel, and it's called Everybody's Crazy. Now, the podcast description implies that they will be taking calls from the public to give advice about how to navigate whatever crazy situation that they call in about. Now, I actually caught a clip, I think it was a YouTube clip of one of her sons calling in and talking about, the game, right? I guess not only the basketball game on the court, but also like the video game as well. And the son calls in and he basically was saying, like, he makes these, you know, negative things whenever he's like playing the game or whatever. And Savannah told us like she gives them permission to basically, I guess, say cuss words on the court, right? So when they're playing that game, they can. And she said she probably gonna have to open it up for them to be able to give to say those kinds of things as well when they play in the actual game. Now, some folks actually are criticizing the fact that Savannah has a podcast and then some people are actually praising it. Critics are saying things like, now that LeBron is kind of like more at the end of his career, she's coming out a little bit more. Bronny is also in talks of being in the NBA and drafted. I think he's also receiving some criticism there at the university that he's attending, but I'm not clear on the part about Bronny, because really, I'm just gonna be honest with some of y'all. I really keep up with some of the basketball and some of the sports because of the women that y'all date. Y'all know that's the way it is now. Y'all, Shawnee Hannah's on Basketball Wives, Real Housewives of whatever. We watch all of that. Come on now, reality TV has basically just sort of taken over. So we do like the idea of getting to know somebody that we haven't gotten to know. And I really do like the concept of the show because it gives other people time to shine and then you time to just sort of give advice. And you don't have to focus too much on your personal life, but we love the fact that you scatter it right up in there. I also can't wait to see what happens, Savannah, with your hairline that you have, that you may be coming out with your daughter. I don't know if you already have that, but whatever you do hairline wise, love your daughter's channel. I think she has a channel, Zuri does. If you have a child, feel free to, have them follow her. You get to see little things. And then also stuff that she does with LeBron. That's how it actually came up. LeBron did a video with her, and I think they were either baking cookies or doing some sort of baking activity. Yep. All of the activities that's going on. Let's talk a little bit about Miss Lynne Whitfield. So I had the pleasure, y'all, of just kind of being online when the premiere of Lynne Whitfield's interview on Angela Yee's Lip Service podcast came on. Like, I was so happy Also surprised. So I don't know if y'all are surprised, but I'm surprised. So if you are, welcome to the club. In the interview, Lynne talks about how she got into Hollywood, her 2 marriages, so she was married twice, the power it takes being a pole dancer. Also, I guess after she did the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate, she said for some reason people used to pay her like for people to do lap dances for her or whatever. And so it ended up putting them in this, conversation about, pole dancing and some of the other hosts that are on the Angela Yee's podcast. All of the things. And what she also talked specifically about the Josephine Baker role, right? I didn't know that it took so much. So she ended up paying for her own like screen test and whatnot, and wasn't the first choice. They ended up going with someone else, I guess, maybe at first. And then, going with actually Lynne. And then Lynne was kind of like, look, okay, if I'm coming back, y'all have what made me stand around like all this time, like, please, So she did like the thing where she kind of set her own rules after sort of being the second choice for it, but she did a great job. She talks also other roles that she wants to play, including being a madam, which I was a little I would say surprised, but she's always had that sort of like class, in my opinion, about her. And some people may not see a madam as classy, but in my opinion, that's a hard industry. I don't know why y'all acting like, one of the oldest professions in the book. We ain't gonna talk too much about that. But I will say I can see Lynne playing the role of a madam. And it took the conversation into the direction of honestly writing. Okay. So I think it was Angela Yee who mentioned, like, why don't you write that story? Like, why don't you, like put that out there? And I love that. I love encouraging women to write their own stories, to put their, to be the director, to be the producer. Do not be afraid. She also talks about wanting to be in some sort of like maybe galactic kind of type of a role, which I can definitely see some, that outer space sort of like the Jetsons. The Jetsons. I mean, the Jetsons, y'all had me thinking we was gonna be flying around in cars by now. Now I know they talk about having the flying car, but I thought that was gonna be back in like the year 2000. Right before, right after the 99. That's when I thought it was gonna happen. But shout out to the Jetsons. I really used to love that little cartoon before school. Before school. Before school. But although I was shocked as hell to see Lynne on the show, I was happy that I caught it live and did a little bit of putting information in the comments, because I'm all about that. Like, that's one of the things, y'all, I love about YouTube is the ability to be able to sort of be along with the personality or with the premiere or with the live, whatever it is that the content creator is putting out, just to kind of be one with that, especially, and when it's live, it definitely feels like, oh, is this? What is this? So shout out to YouTube for just sort of transitioning what TV is about to be for the future. And I wanted to mention this WNBA update. I know that there's something in the news that maybe one of our WNBA stars, they're still kind of on the they're not quite chartered, right? But the NBA did officially have an agreement so that they now will start chartering all of their WNBA players. I realize now, did I not realize that they weren't chartered before? I must not have. I must not have. So let me read what I have instead of just kind of going off the top of my head. But WNBA president, her name is Kathy Engelbert, told reports last week on May 7th some changes that have happened under the leadership of her, right? There's been a $75 million capital raise. The WNBA Bay Arena expanded the franchise for a record $50 million expansion fee. A new TV deal is expected to close next season, even though, you remember I told y'all about Prime, the streaming service for the 21 games on the previous episode on Tuesday. But they're also expected to expand to Toronto in 2026. Now, while the change from commercial to charter is expected to cost, I think it's around $25 million, this is, according to Kathy, a learning curve for everyone. There is definitely more to come when it comes to the WNBA. It sounds to me like they're doing contractual agreements that maybe they've never dealt with before. Maybe some of the people who's working in the WNBA. So there's some growth, it sounds like to me. Maybe some folks who are giving a little bit of pushback. And while it does cost, again, I've said this on previous episodes, y'all, the WNBA is going like, it is the next level. Like, it is definitely, the growth is not only there, especially even last year with the big game with Angel Reese, of course, and Caitlin. and all the thing, like everything is just taking it to the next level. And I agree with so many people when they say things along like, the WNBA is not just about Angel, it's not just about Caitlyn, right? It's about other folks as well. And I get it. I definitely get it. Shout out to the WNBA and for the growth that and the progress that you're making. It's also my understanding that I didn't add this the last time either. It's also my understanding that the NBA plays longer than the WNBA, like their seasons are longer. And so my hope is that the WNBA can, either expand season in order to be able to continue to make those salaries more equitable to the NBA. But I'm so looking forward to what's to come with the WNBA. And the last thing I'm actually going to mention is Melinda Gates, y'all, she's stepping down at the foundation. She resigned recently from the Gates Foundation only after 3 years of her separation from founder Bill Gates. Now, in the separation from the company, Melinda she's going to continue to retain $12.5 billion that she plans to put towards her ongoing work supporting women and families. And while it sounds a little normal to me, especially at this level, they probably just didn't want the donors to be concerned if she would have pulled out right after the divorce from Bill Gates, so she just kind of like gave it some time and continued to do her work diligently. Now, I do wonder the future of the foundation specifically. And while there are no plans written public for the next step for Melinda in her resignation, she says that she's going to be sharing more about what using the $12.5 billion is going to look like. So yeah, that's that. That's the critical news, y'all, that you can use on this Thursday. And if you missed our latest episodes, you can still watch. Since we didn't catch you this weekend with a full episode, we are bringing you a few weekday check-ins called Critical News You Can Use. Now, this is our short weekday segment check-ins where we're just going to give you the latest updates on different hot topics. It won't be consistent. Just the weekends are going to kind of remain the consistent time to come out and give content to the peeps. But this past weekend, again, we just kind of focused in on that Black on the Cover. So I wasn't able to really do a Critic Chronicle show. But this upcoming Saturday, no worries, I'll be back. All right. If you missed the latest critical news you can use from this past Tuesday, be sure to check it out here at the link below. Catch our exclusive Black on the Cover segments throughout the month of May and tune in all summer long where we plan to keep you satisfied through the weekend. Thanks for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.